Alright, let's talk about splitting. We're the refuge system, an ADHD trans girl with dissociative identity disorder. Let's chat about this really good question. Specifically, the question reads, is splitting a, oh, you're here now type of thing, or can it take a while? Does it take a while? Can you know you're splitting without being able to communicate with them yet? To answer the second question, it's yes. To answer the first question, it's also yes. It's one of them both situations. We'll share anecdotal evidence. As we were watching Arcane, the show based off League of Legends, and we were like, oh, this Vi character is... we're emotionally attached to this Vi character. Oh, we're extremely emotionally attached to this Vi character. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. We've also had times where it's that clip from The Office where Dwight is like, ah! It's like, new people. And so the thing with this is that it's very situational. It very much depends on the situation. We made a video, Awkward did, not too terribly long ago, maybe time is irrelevant. And the premise of the video was like, oh gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna handle this. Boop, new split, I do. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes that is exactly how it happens. You're in a situation that is new, or maybe not so new, and the normal people who would handle that situation are not there, and the brain says, we need somebody who can. And presses that little split button. Because once the brain learns how to dissociate and create, like, which brains inherently know how to dissociate, that's like a thing you're born with. But once brains figure out the whole, like, oh, we could just make new splits, the amnesia barrier. Oh, this is such a fun trick. So, like, yeah, it's a very much a situational thing. This one's gonna get a lot of you. See how both ADHD and autistic people are like, yeah, no, just in a crisis, I'm able to flip into like this autopilot that handles things really well, and I just don't feel feelings until later. Now, before we get too carried away with that moment, let's talk about there is something that affects both people with ADHD, people with autism, and a number of other neurodivergencies, and that's delayed emotional processing. Because while the dopamine norepinephrine struggle is primarily with those with ADHD, there are chemical struggles with those who are autistic. Serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, all of them fun hormones or chemicals, one of the two. But as we've talked about before, if you are neurodivergent of any flavor, your propensity for having dissociative disorders goes up. Why? Because the world, especially here, the Western world, is not designed for neurodivergent brains. It's very traumatizing. And dissociative disorders are a coping mechanism for trauma, usually intensive childhood trauma. There are other methods by which they can happen. Primary reason, intensive childhood trauma. You know who has a really traumatic time? Neurodivergent kids who can't, like, talk about their needs correctly because they don't have the words for it yet. Yeah. We realized we got off topic because we looked at the question again and we were like, that's not, I mean, it's a good kind of, we're keeping it. All of that together into a big old sandwich, a digestible sandwich. Yeah, it's a very much a both thing. It's a situational thing. Sometimes the brain needs somebody right then and there, and it kind of has templates. The brain uses templates sometimes. And you'd be like, well, that seems weird. Ask anybody with subsystems, and you're like, there's so many Nates, and also so many Rivers, and Thadens-ish? The community theater's a weird one. But, like our Arcane example, sometimes you're like, wait a second, and then Kate comes on screen, and your head goes, my girlfriend. Oh, Oh no. Oh, this can only end horribly. And that's as much as we're gonna say, because we don't want to spoil. It's a great show. It's an incredibly painful show. That's super great. Don't play the game. Don't play the game. Our girlfriend plays League of Legumes. And we were like, well, maybe we'll get into the game. She's like, no. Don't play the game. Don't play League of Legends. Watch the show, Arcane. Don't play League of Legends. And if you're like, wow, that seems like maybe uncharacteristic. If you've been on any social media since Arcane came out, people who play League of Legends are constantly going, no, don't play League of Legends. So we're just repeating the appropriate sentiment. We are so incapable of telling cohesive stories in a We're a storyteller. We're a permanent bard. We have to have the flair, the theatrics. Yes, we're the community theater this morning. It's already been a stressful day. But during the entire time that we were like, are we splitting by? Are we splitting by? Are we splitting by? It's like, no, maybe. Like, there's no real response. And then there was the, that's my girlfriend moment. And we were like, oh, fuck. You know, and then other times we've been like, wow, the state of everything is horrible. How am I gonna... No, we got this. It's fine. No worries. Stop fretting about it. I got this. This is my thing now. So, yeah, overall answer, it's a both. It's porque no los dos. Why not both? That comes from a commercial from when we were growing up about tacos. It's obscure. Anyways, if you have questions or clarifications, leave them in the comments or hit us up in our DMs. We enjoy helping people. That's why we're called the Refuge System. Yeah, also like the funny play on words, because like we named ourselves Psychotic Refuge in like the 7th grade. Like that was our DJ name, right? And it just became like the wildest Chekhov's gun. Like, wow. The writers for this life need a raise. Or something else. Anyways, our big thing is helping people. If you would like to help us, there are clickables in the place where clickables are. And you can click upon those clickables and see what clickable things have clickable adventures for you. Adventures? Nah. No, ventures actually, yeah, could be capital ventures. Do you want to invest in us? We are a great artist. Great artist. Just saying. Toodles.